100%. Esipenko, who is one of the candidates next year after his performance in the World Cup. And here he is, speeding up with the black pieces. His come from behind today, but look at this. He is now on 7 points with the black pieces against Lazavik.
Yeah, we see Lazavik going for the Torre Attack here. It's not the most common, but it's a very good blitz weapon. So it's quite similar to the London opening, where you bring your bishop out early and you try to bring, kind of build this solid structure in the center. And it often leads to good attacking chances. But here, actually, Lazavik went for bringing his knight out to this square instead. And this suddenly became quite concrete here. A lot of threats already. And yeah, Lazavik has to think about how he deals with his knight. He actually sacrifices a pawn here by just castling. It's probably the most straightforward option. Now Esipenko will probably take, Lazavik can take back, and then Esipenko can consider, is he going to take this pawn with the queen, or is he going to focus on his development? That would be the more solid, safe option. That said, if he's going to try to win here, no, he doesn't actually do that. He leaves the pawn. That said, the pawn is always going to be weak here anyways, so you don't actually have to take it immediately. You can take your time here and try to develop some pieces first. Lazavik brings a rook here, attacks the pawn. Esipenko has to figure out how to deal with that, maybe with the knight and maybe with the pawn. But as we see, these pawns are both pretty weak here, and Lazavik is playing quite aggressively here, just allowing these pawns to be targets in order to develop quickly and get some threats towards Esipenko here. Now, Esipenko is taking some time to defend, and Lazavik, if he can keep the pressure up here and keep the threats coming, then this can become quite dangerous. And we see the bar also going in his favor here. So yeah, let's see how he continues here to keep up the pressure on Esipenko.
Definitely better on the bar. Denis Lazavik with 7 points. Andrey Esipenko from Russia also on 7 points. It's good to see him playing Title Tuesday after his celebrations. Becoming third in the World Cup earned him a spot in next year's candidates, and he revealed that alcohol would be a big part of his celebrations. But here he is, playing some good chess today. Struggling in this game, though.
Yeah, I would say Lazavik went for something very true to the nature of the position there. He went for another pawn sacrifice, playing very directly here with this move here earlier on, which was able to give him a passed pawn in the center. Now he's rerouting his knight. Down here, he's going to either move it up to this square where it's very dangerous, or he might try to target this pawn, for example, with something like a queen move. Now he's not able to go here anymore, but this, once again from Esipenko, this is quite risky because now his king is even more open. And if Lazavik can find an aggressive continuation here, trying to exploit it, it's going to be very dangerous because Esipenko is not able to castle in quite a few moves here. And if you can try to exploit that while you have the chance, then it can become quite dangerous.
All right. Much better now on the bar for the 19-year-old from Belarus. Denis Lazavik is playing fantastic chess today, and he's playing so fast. 3 minutes, 15 seconds versus Esipenko's 2 minutes and 58 seconds so far in this game.
Yeah, Lazavik is playing incredibly fast, very strong as well. Now he's taking a time, or a little bit of time to think. That said, it is a critical moment here. If he can find the best continuation, he's going to have very good chances. So it's probably worth figuring out what's going on here. I expect him to do something quite aggressive here, try to open up the position. Maybe something like e4 is a good idea. This is also an idea. He goes for attacking the pawn, which was also a potential move here. Maybe Esipenko will now bring up his pawn to defend once again. Or he could consider doing the same with the knight, but both defensive moves. I don't think he wants to sacrifice a pawn back quite yet. Yeah, he does defend it, so a lot of pawn moves from Esipenko here now. We can see all of these moving up the board, which could be a strength, but at the moment it looks more like a weakness, and a lot of danger now for the king here. Still in the middle, Lazavik has a very safe king, whereas Esipenko has to worry about this for quite a while going forward now. I think he has to try to close the position with something like this. If he opens it up here, it's going to be extremely dangerous. The next move could be something like f4, just blasting open the center here. I don't think Esipenko can allow that. And other than that, I don't see a lot of good options, because if you don't close off the center here, then yeah, he does actually go for that. I think that was the only good option, and now it's still difficult for Lazavik to find something very direct. But once again, he finds a very good move here, keeping the attack up, sacrificing another pawn. Now he's forcing Esipenko to move this pawn forward, which loses a defense here. Now there are a lot of tempting options for Lazavik. He can take this bishop, and then Esipenko would have to take back. He'd never be able to castle again. Could he do something else to try to open up? He also has this pawn, which is very dangerous here. King has to take back, and then he can even consider giving a check.
Massively better for Denis Lazavik. Hikaru Nakamura is in a winning position in his round 9 game against Benjamin Book. Hikaru on 6.5 points, fighting now to go to 7.5. If Lazavik wins this game, he's going to be on 8 points. And it's looking very, very good for the young
Esipenko bringing the king out for
Holy
a walk
cow,
here.
that's brave.
That is very brave. He, he's not going to survive there for long, so he really needs to get some of his pieces into the defense here quickly.
And mate in 8.
Wow.
Is this game going to be over very soon?
Yeah, it's likely here that Lazavik is going to find the correct continuation after thinking for a bit, and then he's probably just going to win. He can, of course, take the knight, but he can also give a check on this square, which is forcing the king even further out into the board. And then there are a bunch of ideas Lazavik has that might win. I think the most direct is you give a check, the king moves forward, you might give another check with a pawn, sacrificing. But if the king takes, suddenly the rook can come across and give checkmate. So a lot of arrows here, but the idea is force the king further out, and there's usually a way to deliver checkmate often in these positions. Lazavik can even just take the knight and be completely sure to be winning here no matter what. He's still threatening a check here, This one is dangerous. I think he just wanted to keep it a little bit safe for now, not allow Esipenko to get away in any possible way. But he is a little bit down on the clock, so he has to figure it out soon.
Yeah, Esipenko still has more than a minute on his clock. Massively struggling on this board, though. That black king is out in the open. Yeah,
in a lot of danger. It's getting forced back now, but Lazavik can at least pick up a couple of pawns if he wants to, with check. Or he could try to, open up so that he can get his rook into the game. It's very dangerous for Esipenko to take that pawn because you allow Lazavik to enter with check. But if you don't take it, the pawn is always a big threat here, creating possible checkmate threats, but also just a big headache for the king. Now I'm expecting Lazavik to take this pawn next, and Esipenko has to watch out for this mate. Yeah, he actually has to walk back into the middle of the board. This is never a good sign. Now it's just about delivering the final blow here for Lazavik, but he is quite low on time still. He needs to figure this out.
It was a final blow from Hikaru Nakamura. He wins against Benjamin Book. He goes to 7.5 points, still fighting to win Title Tuesday Game Week 2. And so are these two players. A win here will take Lazavik to 8 points.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be able to win this in time because he's getting very close now. He just needs to give a couple of more checks with the queen, and it looks like it's very close to checkmate now. But he still has to manage to do so in time. Now, actually, Esipenko is getting low on time as well, which makes it even more difficult to come back here. Now, yeah, the queen picks up a couple of pawns. The rook is going to enter soon. This is probably the next move. Once again, trying to hunt that king. Now, do we see the rook coming in? Maybe here. He goes there instead. Okay, is he bringing it around, perhaps? That is very dangerous for Esipenko.
Oh, red clocks, red clocks.
Wow, now it's
Alarm
just
going off.
Yeah, now it's gone over to just being about the clocks. I mean, it's not obvious here that Lazavik will deliver checkmate in time, and if Esipenko can just play some quick moves.
Oh, but he's
It's not
playing
over.
too slow.
He is too slow, yeah. Lazavik is going to win this. He can just pre-move a bunch of checks, and he wins.
And it's over. He wins on the board. He wins on the clock. Big, big win for Denis Lazavik. Oh, and a reaction from an angry Esipenko losing this one. And he is stuck on 7 points.